Sunday night put a bow on Week 18, and it was worth it for all of us at home watching. Two 14-win teams looking to land the #1 seed, the loser wild card team on the road. Crazy, I know. Well, the Lions put the conference and the Vikings on notice. We're really comfy at home. The Detroit Lions there putting the paws all over Minnesota to win their second straight conference as well in terms of title there, 31-9 against the Vikings. Jared Goff saying post-game, it's not the cherry on top, not yet. The meaning behind that, because we still have postseason to get to. Take a look at it there. The Packers and Eagles will get us started on Sunday at 4:30 Eastern time. The Commanders, Jaden Daniels and the crew from D.C. taking on Baker Mayfield and the Bucs. And then the Vikings, remember, 14 wins. You got to go to L.A., to La La Land, to see the Rams there on Monday Night Football. For more of what's ahead, my guy from NFL Today, Nate Burleson, tapping in. And Nate, look, we got quite a matchup on Sunday between the Commanders and Bucs. We just saw it there. Baker Mayfield squares off against sensation in the rookie there, Jaden Daniels. I'm curious, what are you looking forward to most about this game?
I'm looking at the two quarterbacks. It's funny because you look at Baker Mayfield and where he was with the Cleveland Browns. Just think back to that rookie season where he broke that rookie record, throwing 27 touchdowns, and he was a sensation, as we were describing Jaden Daniels. And then on the flip side, this year, Jaden Daniels comes in and reminds everybody why he won the Heisman. He's a fantastic talent. This offense is operating so efficiently. And when you look at that combination between him and Scary Terry, like, this is an offense that can really get busy in the postseason. There's certain teams that kind of stumble their way into the playoffs, or even certain young rookies that you can anticipate that rookie wall is coming. Not with Jaden Daniels. He's so locked in. Oh, and not to mention that Dan Quinn-led defense, they can really put pressure on quarterbacks. This is going to be good. And as much as I would love to see this passing game be the highlight of this matchup, I do believe that this game is going to be won in the trenches, and not necessarily the running game, but more about which defense can put pressure on the opposing team's quarterback, collapsing that pocket, allowing them to make these mistakes within the pocket, and then taking advantage of that as a defense.
Well, you got Dan Quinn and Todd Bowles. Defense, as always, they're part of the recipe on any given Sunday. We can say the same thing, the AFC North showdown between the Steelers and Ravens in Baltimore on Saturday. What would this matchup ultimately come down to between these two bitter rivals?
This is tough because these guys are familiar with each other. Talking with Bill Cowher, Hall of Famer, Pittsburgh Steelers champion, he talks about it all the time, that throw out the records. Throw out not just the record against each other, not just the matchups within the division, but just throw out the regular season. Because they know each other so well, this is going to be old school football. I think what separates these two teams is that one squad can run the ball decently well, which is the Pittsburgh Steelers. When it comes to the Ravens, they can run the ball very well, but then they can throw the ball even better. Now, if Russell Wilson and his offense gets to clicking like we saw at moments this year, and George Pickens gets on the same page, they work inside out from tight end to wide receiver, we can see this passing game take shape. But I just don't see that happening. As much as I love Russell Wilson and I can appreciate his efforts this year, I just think this Ravens offense, when firing on all cylinders, they're unstoppable. Lamar Jackson, in my opinion, after going back and forth between him and Josh Allen all year long, he is my MVP, and he does it with such ease. And then he has those host of wide receivers and tight ends that can make plays for him, and not to mention that big dog, Derrick Henry, King Henry in the back. I just feel like this game is going to be won in the passing attack by the Ravens.
MV3, that's what everybody's saying now when it comes to Lamar, and it looks like that when you look at the numbers there. Elsewhere, the game you'll be calling for Nickelodeon there, the Chargers are back in the postseason. Thanks to head coach Jim Harbaugh leading them to 11 wins in L.A., their most since 2018. But what intrigues you most about their wild card matchup there against the Houston Texans?
Well, being in Houston. As much as, Houston has impressed us over the last couple of years of this introduction of C.J. Stroud, they've kind of stumbled offensively. And now I get it. They have been banged up all year long. It seemed like there's been one guy out or another. And, it stays back to Stephon Diggs being banged up. We had Nico Collins going down. Of course, Tank Dell. I mean, these are significant players that add so much value to their offense. So I understand why they struggled a little bit offensively as they closed out the year. But being at home with their home team, That goes a long way. I was talking with J.J. Watt, and he was telling me how difficult it is to play in Houston, let alone teams coming there to play in the postseason. I do feel like the Chargers, they're buying everything that Harbaugh is selling. I just love that there was some criticism, right? Harbaugh leaves Michigan, and then we're all questioning, as if he hasn't proved this before in the NFL, whether this enthusiasm that he's bringing from the college level is going to work with these guys that are making millions of dollars. Well, guess what? He's answered it. He's answered the simple fact that if I come in with enthusiasm and it's as authentic as possible, these guys are going to follow my lead. I mean, he believes in everything that he says. He goes out there and shows them that he wants to work. He loves the game as much as their star players, and these guys are following suit. They're truly a reflection of the team, but this is going to be a tall task. I'll throw out some of the inconsistencies offensively for the Texans. I do believe, because of the momentum of playing at home and having your crowd behind you, that they're going to show up and show out in this one. It's going to be an uphill battle for the Chargers.
Safe to say, though, when it comes to Harbaugh, he's bringing that new energy into L.A. The same way I could say as you're bringing some new energy to Hollywood Squares as the host as well. And I have to ask you, I don't want you to give us any little tidbits about it, but I need your ultimate center square. Who would it be?
You know, I was thinking about going with the player for this answer, but I'm going to go with the coach, Dan Campbell. I mean, every time he talks, it's amazing. First of all, he got that super raspy voice because he's just yelling nonstop. But, I mean, his first press conference, my dude said, hey, I'm going to fight, I'm going to cough, I get knocked down, I'm going to get up, I'm biting kneecaps. I've never heard a coach say, I'm going to bite your kneecap. And here's the thing. They've been kneecapping teams all year long. So I'd love to have Dan Campbell as my center square because you just never know what you're going to get.
He's a little too competitive. I don't want him kneecapping people above and around him in that square day. I don't know if we can have that.
That is true. That is true.
You got to get that signed off. As always, appreciate it. Nate Burleson tapping in to give us a skinny on everything.